I'm Julian Goose. I'm the resident judge here at Sheffield. I'm the honorary recorder of Sheffield. A judge is required to make sure that the trial works fairly for both the prosecution and the defence, to make rulings on law, to make sure that the case is conducted in accordance with the law, to make sure that trials are managed up to the trial and during the trial so they run efficiently, and at the end, if there is a conviction, to pass sentence. Also, people plead guilty and they have to be sentenced without a trial. So that there's an awful lot of responsibility, as well as a need to make sure at all times that everything is conducted properly, in accordance with the law and in proper fairness. Well, sentencing isn't just about punishment. It's important that sentencing actually helps to protect the public. And to do that, sentences involve both a punishment element but also rehabilitation. Both of those go together to form the sentence. When it comes to the court actually passing sentence, it's necessary firstly to identify what the harm has been. That's the harm to the victim or victims. And secondly, the blameworthiness. How serious is the conduct of the offender? Taking those together and then looking at what makes it more serious or less serious, fixing the sentence is a balance, taking into account mitigating or lessening serious and also aggravating more serious features, then comes to a sentence that needs to be imposed. There's also the necessary process of adjusting for sentences where people plead guilty. There's a policy that the courts apply, created by law, by Parliament, that those who plead guilty at the earliest stage will get a certain amount of discount from their sentence. If they plead guilty very late in the day, they get much less off. And the reason for that is because not only does it save court time, but it avoids added trauma for the victims, having to wait until a trial comes to an end before finally they see justice being done. Well, first and foremost, it's judges who make the decision on sentencing, and that's vital to the process, the constitutional process of judges in our society. But it's Parliament who impose the maximum and minimum sentences, depending on the sort of cases that it is, and judges have to pass sentence within that. It's also Parliament that determines how much of the sentence that any offender serves in custody when it's a prison sentence. And that isn't something that the judges deal with at all. It's a fixed amount of law. Once the sentencing process starts and the maximum minimum sentence is determined for the offence, it's then for judges to apply sentencing guidelines by the Sentencing Council to the particular offence. That makes it a transparent and a consistent process throughout the different courts in England and Wales. Judges use sentencing guidelines which are produced by the Sentencing Council for all judges, magistrates' courts as well, through England and Wales. The purpose of those is to ensure that there is consistency and transparency of the sentencing decision, fixing starting points in accordance with whatever is the harm or whatever is the blameworthiness of an offender, will then produce a sentence within a range that the judge will impose depending on the interests of justice in the case. Far more than you think. When you explain to people what facts are involved in a particular case and ask them what their sentence would be, it's remarkably similar to the sentence that really is appropriate and was passed in the case.